All right, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? How is it going? I am no one. And in today's video, we are going to go through the PTR update notes that just came out today. Today is Tuesday, April 8th, as of the recording of this video. And yeah, we're going to read the patch notes. There was some big TTK changes that are coming through, and we're going to read through them and all that. This has been asked a few times. You have to have PTR access in order to be able to read these notes. I can't share them. I'm sorry, guys, but yeah, you have to be able to have the access on the website in order to read these on the forums. But you can read them here with me. I'm sharing these with you. Also, another thing that will be asked is, will we see this Thursday? Obviously, nobody knows for sure. But what I will say, most of the time, most things that we see in the patch notes, they go live on Thursday. The same thing happened a few weeks ago when Rogue, when Naval came out. Naval, I was very curious about, like all of a sudden, were they going to release Naval onto Alpha 2? And they did. And basically, we got everything from the PTR onto Alpha 2 last time. And it's happened the last few times as well. Obviously not a guarantee, but it is possible that if these changes go well in the next couple days, possibly, maybe, we might see some TTK changes on Alpha 2, which would be huge. Now, before I go through and read these, I did a video yesterday, and I made a comment about one of Zybak's comments in one of his videos. And in that video, I said, I agree with like 90% of what he said. I disagree that the TTK change is a big issue. And Zybak responded, and he said I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about this, about a quick fix change. And I went back and listened to it, and he's right, and I was wrong. I am not a fan of people that will like watch my videos and then they'll comment on an argument I'm not trying to make. And I literally did the exact same thing to him. And so in hindsight, with ears fully open, I realized that I just messed up. And the reason I'm bringing this up is, if we're going to have nuance and we're going to have discussion and we're going to discuss about different changes, we need to get people's arguments and points of view right. And I got his wrong. And so instead of me agreeing with 90% of what he said, I now agree with 100% of what he said in that video. I'll provide a link in the description if you guys want to go check it out. It was very well done. So yeah, sorry about that, Zybak. Just wanted to clear the air there because I was wrong. Let's read some patch notes. So first things first, these are the updates for changes to the private test realm that went to testers on Tuesday, April 8th. As a reminder, if you come across bugs during PTR testing, report them to use in games using /bug. Known issues. Enchants will be removed from gear if you interact with that equipment. Equipping or moving items may cause them to lose enchants. Yes, I was messing with stuff this morning, looking at numbers, or this afternoon, and yeah, it's a little bit annoying to deal with right now. Hopefully this gets a fix in, and then I can test this later. PTR update notes 0.8.0, Tuesday, April 8th. Reworked all equipment and items to follow new stats distribution curves with a portion always allocated to certain attributes based on slot, thereby raising the stat floor. Also adjust the distribution and availability of various waterfall stats. This will continue to receive additional rebalancing. Yeah, so something I was looking at with this, certain sets, I don't remember the exact numbers, but Academus versus Rosarium, for instance, because strength is higher on Rosarium, you got a couple more values of strength. Currently on the PTR, like Rosarium is providing like 135 strength because it's on the second value, and Academus is providing 10 strength. And so a waterfall stat is drastically different compared to where it is on the chart. I've only been looking at the PTR for like the last hour or so, hour or two. And so I don't really have any concrete things to say about it. I think we need a better test in general. I'll talk about that later. Sorry, I've kind of adventured off here. I'm going to read the patch notes and then I'll provide my opinion at the end. My bad, guys. But yeah, that I just wanted to say, yes, this is true. This is what I've noticed, and this is how big a disparity it is. Anyways, moving on. NPCs, consumables, set bonuses, and caravans have also received new updated stat curves. Okay, I haven't gotten to those. Addressed enchanting and gear quality scaling issues by inflating values by 10 times to give these systems more granularity. Reduce the power of equipment by better accounting for the sources of player power, such as skill trees, enchanting, consumables, guilds, and other various systems-related bonuses. Reworked base attribute waterfall stat distributions and added additional stats such as critical mitigation, disable resistance, and other defensive stats. Adjusted a variety of stats to increase or decrease how certain stats scale based on their ratings, for example, reduced power scaling. Made diminishing returns properly apply to generic versions of certain stats when combined with their physical or magical counterparts. I am very curious if how these diminishing returns are going to work. It's really tough to see right now. That is an opinion. I'm sorry. We'll keep reading. Offensive and defensive stat pairs have had their baseline values adjusted to even out the benefit provided by each. Rebalanced archetype-specific stat gain curves. Overall health scaling has been increased, and the health increase on melee archetypes has changed, so it will stay more relevant at higher levels. NPC damage has been adjusted to compensate for increases to character health, fixed a variety of stat errors and scaling issues. Nodes in War. Squall's End node can now level up to Village Stage 3. Dejina node can now level up to a Village Stage 3. So these are the new desert nodes. Uses a new coastal layout. Okay, we'll have to go check this out. Murder Defectors, a new war type, has been added for Guild Wars. Oh shit, cool. Sand Squall Desert Node Wars have been updated to use locations in the zone for territory wars. Buy orders in the Sand Squall Desert have been updated to ask for materials found in the desert. That makes complete sense to me. Vehicles, Caravel Storage. Storage has been added to Caravel ships. This functions similar to caravans. Caravel ships should no longer be able to be spawned on land. In the Turquoise Sea, NPC enemies have been moved to where they were intended to be in the Turquoise Sea. Improved lighting in the Turquoise Sea pocket dungeons. Fix some issues where parts of the landscape would not render at far distances in the Turquoise Sea. Additional polish and bug fixes in the Turquoise Sea. So that's the end of the video, the patch notes, not the end of the video. Overall, the biggest changes here are we are getting 2 more nodes in the desert, the place that doesn't exist. We are getting 2 new places that also don't exist, which is pretty damn cool. On top of that, we are getting a lot of changes to gear. Now, what I will say from when I'm looking at it, the overall values are quite a bit different. Their impact is quite a bit different. Like resistance values, depending on light, medium, and heavy, are vastly different numbers. Your strength values, depending on where it is in the row, is vastly different. The impact, I haven't gotten to the difference in impact, to be honest. And so all this is kind of cool. It's cool to see such a drastic change and a drastic overhaul. This is what I was hoping for. I was hoping for something different. But with that being said, I don't think I'll be able to give a proper evaluation to what TTK feels like because the gear is drastically different. And so if a developer or somebody from Intrepid sees and hears this, let me explain my point of view. The current issue with TTK and Ashes is that as you get higher level gear and as you enchant that gear, you just get a lot more escalating damage and power to a point to where time to kill drops quite a bit lower. So what Zyback said in his video, being around 300 physical power feels pretty good, but once you get up to like 500, 600 physical power, which is where I'm at, you're two-shotting literally everything with a pulse. And it's just kind of silly right now. And so on the test right now, they're giving us all rare level 20 gear. I have rare Rosarium, rare Academus, all this stuff, rare weapons. So I can have access to the Carfin level 20 weapons and rare. I can enchant them and get a higher value, but I don't know the difference between rare and but we can't have access to legendary. And currently on the PTR, I have legendary weapons. Sorry, not on the PTR, on Alpha 2. I have legendary level 20 greatsword and a legendary level 20 bow. And then I also have epic gear enchanted. And so without being able to have access to this stuff on the PTR, where I can do matching comparisons, like I can throw the same gear onto my characters, I can't provide a comparison because the gear is substantially lower in value than what my current PTR stuff is. And so my recommendation and what I hope to see, and I'm asking on Discord as well, is can we get the higher value stuff? Can you give us access to legendary gear? Can you give us access to epic gear? Stuff like that so that we can put on our gear that we have on Alpha 2. Like I know what pieces in rarity I already have. I can put those things on. I can enchant them when that enchanting fix gets adjusted, and then I can provide a like-for-like comparison on the PTR. But as it stands right now, damage is lower, but how much of it is lower due to the changes in TTK, and how much of it is lower because I don't have access to the gear that I have on Alpha 2? I can't provide like really good feedback until we can get those specific comparisons. So that's my point of view. Hopefully we can get an adjustment in there, maybe before tomorrow, and then we could actually tweak some gear and provide that value. At least the weapons. Like the weapons are such a huge part of your damage, and running around with rare weapons isn't something I've been doing on Alpha 2 for like the last 2 to 3 months. Humble brag. Like I'm definitely not bragging about how nice my weapons are or anything. No, I'm just kidding, guys. I'm completely kidding. But yeah, but for a proper comparison on the high end, people at level 25, people that have been grinding gear, like we won't know where where time to kill is at and if a further adjustment is needed until we get those weapons and we can test them on Alpha 2, in my opinion. So yeah, that's going to be the end of this video. If you guys have any questions or comments, please provide in the section below and I will do my best to answer it. As always, guys, thank you for watching. Have a nice day.